Hey guys, today we are gonna see worst man-made disasters in the history of mankind. It is unfortunate that all these disasters occur in last 100 years. The more advanced human civilization is getting, the worse are disasters. Today we'll explore 5 of these catastrophes and what kind of tragedy we hold for ourselves and for our future. So let's get started. At number 5 is the Beirut explosion. On August 4th, 2020, a large amount of ammonium nitrate stored at port city of Beirut, the capital of Lebanon, exploded, causing at least 207 deaths, 7,500 injuries, and 15 billion US dollars in property damage, and leaving an estimate 300,000 people homeless. The reason for this disaster was a cargo of 2,750 tons of substance, equivalent to 1.1 kilotons of TNT, had been placed in a warehouse without any safety measures. This blast was also felt across Turkey, Syria, Israel, Palestine, and other parts of Europe. It was detected by United States Geological Survey as a seismic event of magnitude 3.3 and is considered one of the most powerful artificial non-nuclear explosions in the history of mankind.
Chernobyl Reactor 4 is now a nuclear bomb.
And number 4 is Chernobyl. Chernobyl was a nuclear accident which occurred in 1986. It was the result of a flawed reactor design that was operated with inadequately trained personnel. The resulting steam explosion and the fires released at least 5% of radioactive core into the environment, with the deposition of radioactive materials in the many parts of Europe. With this accident, 2 Chernobyl plant workers died due to explosion on the night of the accident, and a further 28 people died within a week as a result of acute radiation syndrome. The United Nations Scientific Committee on the Effects of Atomic Radiation has concluded that, apart from 5,000 thyroid cancers, which resulted in 15 fatalities, there is no evidence of a major public health impact due to radiation. Around 400,000 people were evacuated as a result of accident. Nowadays, no one lives in Chernobyl. At number 3 is Exxon Valdez oil spill 1989. When the Exxon Valdez oil tanker hit the coast of Prince William Sound, Alaska, 11 million gallons of oil spilled across 1300 miles. There was no harm to human life, but nature took a massive blow. According to National Park Service, 200,000 seabirds, 3,000 sea otters, 300 harbor seals, 250 bald eagles, 22 killer whales, and billions of salmon died because of pollution of the spill. At that time, it was the largest single oil spill in US waters. Initial attempts to contain oil failed, and in months that followed, oil slick spread, eventually covering about 1300 miles of coastline. Investigators later learned that Joseph Hazelwood, the captain of Exxon Valdez, had been drinking at the time and had allowed an unlicensed third mate to steer the massive ship. In March 1990, Hazelwood was acquitted of felony charges. He was convicted of a single charge of misdemeanor negligence, fined $50,000, and ordered to perform 1,000 hours of community service. Exxon paid about $2 billion in cleanup costs and $1.8 billion for habitat restoration and personal damages related to spill. At number 2, Deep Sea Horizon oil spill. The cause of this oil spill, considered to be the biggest oil spill in the history of US waters, is wellhead blowout. 11 workers were killed and 17 were injured by this explosion. About 1,300 miles of the US Gulf Coast was covered in oil. Massive harm was done to wildlife, both in and around the Gulf of Mexico, including deaths of an estimated 8,000 birds and 65,000 turtles. A payment of $65 billion by the oil company BP in compensation to the people impacted by this spill was given. It is estimated that as much as 20% of the oil spilled may have sunk to the bottom of the ocean and damaged deep sea ecosystems, because a release of an estimated 134 million to 206 million gallons of oil happened in the Gulf of Mexico in that disaster. At number 1 is the Bhopal gas leak. It was on the night of December 2, 1984 when Bhopal died a million deaths. The chemical methyl isocyanate that spilled out from pesticide factory turned the city into a vast gas chamber. People ran on streets, vomiting and dying. The city ran out of cremation grounds. It was India's first major industrial disaster. Till then, government had handled floods, cyclones and even earthquakes. But in this case, they had no clue how to respond. Estimates vary on death toll. The official immediate death toll was 2,259. Some estimate that 8,000 died within 2 weeks and another 8,000 or more have since died from the gas-related diseases. A government affidavit in 2006 stated that the leak caused approximately 558,000 injuries, including 38,478 temporary partial injuries and approximately 3,900 severely and permanently disabling injuries. The reason for this tragedy is that a safety release system activated and emptied a storage tank in the air in order to prevent a huge chemical explosion. Now, the question arises, what kind of disaster we could face that could endanger or end human life from the earth? Firstly, we are heading towards the climate change, and the human beings are literally accelerating the process, and one day it will be a huge threat to mankind, only if there isn't a nuclear holocaust or World War III that would wipe us out before climate change does. Thanks for watching. Please comment if you have a suggestion or you think we can improve on something. If you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel. See you in the next one.